Hello and welcome to the very first episode of me and hubby's new podcast, Growing Together.
Welcome, everyone.
We are super excited to get this project started. It's been something that I think we've been talking about for a while, and now it's come to fruition.
Happy days. Yeah, we've been thinking about doing this and chatting about doing it, and yeah, I'm very excited to share our journey and our experiences together, and hopefully we can inspire other couples to do the same. And even if you're not in a couple, if you're looking for love and for someone that's going to better your life, then hopefully you can listen to and gain some tools that you can find someone that is in line with your journey.
Yeah, I think it's so important that you touched on that, because we were worried in the beginning that people would think that if they weren't in a relationship, this podcast wouldn't be for them. But if you are searching for true love, if you're searching for a partner that is aligned with you and your goals and your values and your life, whatever, working on yourself is the first thing you need to do in order to be able to attract a like partner.
Correct.
So if you are single, ready to mingle, or to find the love of your life, this is also a podcast that I feel like you guys can really learn from and grow from, and in doing so, attract that ideal partner you've been searching for.
Correct. I mean, everyone has an ideal partner in their minds, be it where they look, the way they are, financial, whatever it may be. And you very rarely find that tick list. You can't find everything.
Yeah.
So I agree. If you work on yourself, not just for a relationship, for anything, then the rest of the world falls into place.
Yeah. And I think that's how we've evolved so much as a couple, is by recognizing that we need to work on ourselves first before we can work on our partnership. Correct. Because you both kind of need to be in a place where you've started to recognize your weaknesses, your faults, your issues, your toxic cycles and your behaviors that you've brought through from maybe past relationships or past traumas that will not start to affect your relationship as a whole. So when you do the individual self-improvement and self-discovery and all those beautiful things, you better yourself as a person, but you also better yourself as a partner.
Correct, 100%. Because I mean, even initially when we first started dating, it was like we had one relationship where we were joined together in the same office, gym together, shower together, which was great, but it was obviously not ideal for us to grow individually.
Yes.
And as things went on and we started to work our way through our own lives, we decided, listen, I'm going to do this project, whatever it may be, on my own, to work on myself, and vice versa. And somehow things aligned and we've just become stronger together.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So the one thing I wanted to talk about in this episode, I mean, obviously we are no experts here either, but we have been one of those couples, and I don't want to sound inflated here, but there's no other way to say it. We have been one of those couples that a lot of people always turn to us and say, you guys have really found something special here. True. Like, what is the secret recipe? And I mean, I guess that's what's also pushed us to learn more about conscious partnerships and learn more about self-development, so that we can become the best versions of ourselves and versions of ourselves as a couple. And we were actually chatting about it the other day, how us calling ourselves out on our own bullshit before we even came into this relationship, two of us, really helped our relationship together from the get-go.
Correct. I mean, if you can, like for myself specifically, I was never like a very honest person with my partners, where I was, what I was doing, and vice versa. And I always lived with this feeling of like guilt and anxiety, like, oh my gosh, she's going to find out. And I decided after that the next girl I meet is A, going to have a full sleeve. And B, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be completely honest with my lifestyle. And at that time, my lifestyle wasn't very healthy. I was partying a lot. Doing things that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. But I told myself, the next girl I date, I'm going to tell her everything. And if she doesn't like it, there's the door, you can go. So Rox, from the start, she knew my habits, what I was doing. And it was quite liberating in a way for someone to accept me for that, which was a good start for us, albeit it wasn't healthy what I was doing. But still, the fact was I went into the relationship to be completely honest.
Yes.
Whatever it was, how bad it was, I'm going to tell you the truth, and if you don't like it, goodbye. And from there, I think there was a good base to start from. because I had realized my faults in my previous relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did is I took accountability. I wasn't blaming my ex-girlfriends all the time for them being a certain way. I looked at myself deep inside and I was like, hang on a second, Josh, mate, you were half the problem, if not more. And when you can own that and realize that you're not perfect, or like when you can realize, when you can dig deep within yourself and acknowledge your ego and say, listen, mate, you could be the problem. Then things start to change and you start to be more open, more honest. And when you're open and honest with someone, firstly, you can't get caught out. And secondly, you're never going to be in trouble or whatever. But yeah, it was a good start to our relationship. But the honesty from the start was a good thing.
Yeah. I think like 2 pillars that make a healthy relationship are communication and honesty. And this could trigger a few people. But at the end of the day, if you cannot be 100% fully honest with your partner and you cannot communicate effectively and regularly and about everything with your partner, then you're always going to have something lacking. There's going to be that lack of trust. There's going to be that lack of understanding because you're lacking 2 very integral parts of what makes a successful relationship.
Correct.
So just like you came in knowing that you wanted to be honest, I had done a lot of work on myself prior to me and Josh starting dating. And I think one of the craziest things for me was that I'd just done an ayahuasca journey. And what I came out from that, the information that I got from that was that I had never really fully committed myself to a man. For reasons that we'll probably get into at some point, but it had a lot to do with my dad. He had a lot of health issues when I was younger. And I think that fear of losing him just made me not want to commit to anyone fully before. And that led me to doing stupid things and not being loyal and like just being not the best girlfriend. And I think it was such a blessing that I had that moment, that medicine, that realization before we started dating, because that also helped me to be more everything you need to be in a relationship, more committed, more loyal, more all of that. I
think maybe the ayahuasca maybe even got me a foot in the door, because when Rox and I were actually chatting, I mentioned ayahuasca to her and she was like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Which guy wants to do ayahuasca? Little did you know, I was only looking to do ayahuasca because I heard that you can go travel with aliens and take you out of this planet. So I just wanted to get more screwed up and, you know. So
it was all a lie.
It was all a lie. But yeah, since then I've also done the ayahuasca with Rox, and yeah, it is a beautiful medicine that it's good to do as a couple. But yeah, we'll get into those later on.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, we just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of what our podcast will be about. So we obviously covered that it's for anyone, single or in a relationship. But I think the biggest thing is like, we are going to be covering such interesting topics going forward of how to evolve and create a more conscious partnership, or like we said, for the singles, how to attract or find a more a conscious true love relationship. And we'll talk about the difference between a conscious partnership and a non-conscious partnership. We'll talk about everything. And it's just like, we just really want to help you guys, and we will be learning at the same time. Like we said, we are no experts. We are currently doing a relationship workshop facilitator course. Always have to think about that slowly. So we are learning like incredible stuff through there, which we'll be sharing with you guys. But we just want to take you on our journey to our conscious partnership and with us, so that we can hopefully help and inspire you guys to put some of the stuff that you learn from this podcast into action to better your relationships, or to attract that person you've always dreamed of.
And I mean, even if you only take certain things from certain podcasts, I mean, we're going to go into things like fitness together, opening up. I mean, for the men, it's not easy sometimes to speak about your emotions and to talk about your vulnerabilities, but it's important. So we're going to talk about things like that. We're going to talk about things like sex and, you know, all the nasty stuff. But
yeah, it's going to be an all-round, fully inclusive, educational podcast. Sorry, my dog just sat down. I thought he was going to knock the computer over. So yeah, guys, I mean, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to that before we cut off.
No, just that this is obviously very new to me. It's my second time doing a podcast, and yeah, it's exciting. Like, I enjoy talking about things that we put down on paper and discuss with each other. So why not share it with the world? And if you can inspire and help other people find happiness and love like we have, then sure, that makes me feel good.
Yeah. Definitely. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you so much.
We'll catch you next week with a more informative episode. 100%. We just wanted you guys to get to know us a little bit today. But thank you so much for listening.
Have an amazing new year. Smash those goals.
Yes. At the time of recording this, it is 2nd of January. So
yeah,
I think we're also going to do a goal setting, kind of a couple's goal setting, but also an individual goal setting episode soon as well. Correct. Because we did something incredible on New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Which has really got us feeling excited, motivated, and driven, and aligned together with joint goals as well. But yes, thanks for listening. If you know anyone who you think would love to listen to this podcast, feel free to share it with them.
I'll always say subscribe and share and like.
But we'll catch you guys next week.